Hello everyone. Welcome to the second part of webinar series on CRM 2015 Update 1 features. I am Someshwar Sripuram, working as Senior Consultant at CloudFront Technologies, and I will walk you through the exciting new features in this release. Throughout the meeting, everyone will be muted. So in case of any questions, you can put it in chat window and I will answer all of them at the end of the session. Let's get started. So this is the agenda for today. Uh, we are going to focus on the new form rendering engine in CRM. We're also going to look at the alternate keys in CRM entities. We are going to look at the SDK enhancements which are part of this CRM 2015 update 1, which significantly have improved performance. We'll look at the CRM app for Outlook web app, which helps us tracking emails from Outlook web application. We'll also see the new features available in CRM for phones and tablets. So we'll start with the new form rendering engine. This is one of the more exciting features in the CRM release, which has improved the performance of CRM entity forms. So with CRM 2015 update 1, the form rendering engine is redesigned for better performance of CRM entity forms. So why is it good? So it has a new form renderer which improves the performance of entity forms. It also has full support for all the client scripting. Basically, there are no fundamental changes in what the form does, meaning the form will still behave what it does earlier, but with much improved performance. Also, users or admins have the ability to disable or enable the new form rendering engine across organizations. But with this new form rendering engine, it also imposes strict rules on unsupported customization. So any unsupported customization which we were previously working on CRM 2015 or earlier versions will no longer work. Also, uh, there is a tool provided by Microsoft to test the unsupported customization for your solution before you move to update 1 and you start using the new rendering engine. As you can see in this graph, the we can see the performance difference between the legacy form rendering engine and the new form rendering engine. So you can see the legacy form rendering engine with the increase in number of fields on the form, the performance is much slower than what it is with the new form rendering engine. So, so this is one of the major changes. Uh, we can also see the architecture or the rough design of how the forms are used currently. So you can see that in the old rendering engine, most of the requests were linear. So with the new rendering engine, most requests have now become parallel. So the subgrid request, server processing has all now become a parallel process, which was linear in earlier version of the form. So thus you can see that the new rendering engine loads much faster than the earlier version. So let's see a quick demo of the new form rendering engine. Uh, Give me time. Let me go to the CRM environment. So basically the way the form loads is still the same, but what I wanted to show you is how to enable or disable this across organizations. So in settings, if you navigate to administration and then go to system settings, so you will see this option of use legacy form rendering engine. So by default, this option will be no for the updated 2015 update 1 environments. But if you are facing some issues with the new rendering engine, with the form customizations or any other issues, you can disable it by clicking yes, which means it will still use the legacy form rendering engine. So which will be same as what it was earlier. So by default it is now no, and let's see how the form loads. Uh, let's go to accounts and open our accounts record. So you can see while loading also it will show the messages what it does, like loading requesting data or loading business logic. So all this is part of the new form rendering engine. So you can see that the form loads much faster even with a lot of information on the form compared to what it was earlier. Also with the new form rendering engine, whenever there are unsupported customization or there is some error with JavaScript or customizations, it shows up as a pop-up on the form so that the users know. Earlier, what used to happen was if there are any JavaScript errors, they were not shown to user and user was clueless about why something was not working. But it is not right now. So right now it will throw the error messages on the form so that the user is informed and the user can then inform the admin that about some issues with the form customization. Okay, so this was all about the new form rendering engine. Uh, let's move ahead. So what has changed in the new form rendering engine? So iframes are now kept throughout the user session, which means, as you might know, earlier the entity forms were a part of iframe on the main web page, which means all the entity forms were loaded in an iframe. So whenever something changed, entire iframe was loaded. And since iframe reference to some other URL, everything from script and CSS, all other internal customization that CRM has used to load every time a page loads. But with this new engine, what they have done is they have kept the iframe in a user session throughout the user session. So it is maintained now throughout the session, which helps in lower rendering time. Also, the custom script by your ISV or third-party vendors are loaded in a separate iframe. So this separates your main customization, which CRM by default has, to your third-party customizations in by or any other customization that your vendor or CRM partner has done. So those customizations are loaded separately now. Also, there are no changes in the supported scripts or form capabilities. So all the capabilities are still there. Nothing is removed, which you need to worry about. Also, if something is not working or something is unsupported, you can check this with a tool that Microsoft provides, where you can check all your customization if it is supported with the new release or no. Right now we have the option of using the legacy form, but we recommend that you do fix the unsupported customizations and start using the new form rendering engine because it is very much possible, or I think it will be obsolete from the next release and there will be no option to use the legacy form rendering engine anymore. So it is better to start doing the changes so that all the customizations are now supported with the new engine. So these are some of the examples that will break with the new form rendering engine. So any attempt to access DOM or the document object model in the content iframe using JS or third-party libraries will break. Any attempt to use any unsupported APIs or non-XRM APIs will break. Accessing window.parent from web resource will also break if the parent window is a CRM form. So you cannot access CRM form from a inline iframe or web resource using the window.parent, which mostly all developers used to do. So these all are unsupported now. So that is it for form customizations or the form rendering engine. So let's look at CRM for OWA or the Outlook web application. CRM for OWA is basically a preview feature for Outlook web app which allows integration of OWA with CRM. So initially we already have CRM for Outlook desktop application which we have to install as a separate software for desktop Outlook version. But with this new apps, we can integrate Outlook web app with CRM. For using this, administrators have to enable this feature so that all users can use this. And basically, the app is used to track the incoming email in Microsoft CRM. So when you track an email message in Outlook web app, a copy of that message is stored as an email in CRM. Users can also preview information about contacts and leads from within the Outlook web application without navigating to CRM. Or also they can create contacts if the sender of the email does not exist in CRM. Or they can track or change the regarding record of an email all within the CRM uh, app for the OWA. So we'll see demo how it works, and this is a feature I think everyone will appreciate. Let's look at that. So if I go to my email, Office 365 email, I can see some emails. So before we select and we see what Dynamics CRM does, what we can do is we'll see how this has to be enabled. So for example, the admin has to first enable it from the admin portal. So from the admin center, admin has to go to the exchange navigation, and from here have to select organization for organization level apps. So organization and then apps. This will show all the apps present for exchange for this organization. So as you can see, some of the apps are already there. So all these apps are by default present except for Dynamics CRM, which I have included. So for including this app, we have to add it from the Office 365 store. This is how we do it. So this is the Office 365 store, which has a lot of apps for Outlook. We can search for the CRM app here. As you can see, this is the app which we are looking for. So you can, this is a free app, you can add it to your organization, and once you add it, which I've already did for this organization, and then you have to refresh this just to see it if it is present in the already listed apps. So now you can see that there is a dynamic CRM app. Before it is visible to all other users, you have to enable it or change the settings of this app. So this has some features like make this app available to users in organization, so which is by default selected. And then you have some user default. So by default it is disabled. You can make it enabled by default but optional for all users. I have chosen to make it mandatory for all users so that users cannot disable this app. So I'll save this, and once I do this, all the users with Office 365 web app can see dynamic CRM here in the gray area. So suppose, let me go to some other mail. Suppose siripuram at cloudfront.com is a contact in my CRM. So let's check if this guy is a contact. It's a duplicate contact. Yeah. So you can see, yes, siripuram at cloudfront.com is already a contact in my CRM. And this person has sent me an email. He needs to discuss something about future projects and revenue. So now I want to see if this person is present in my CRM, and if he is present, what are the details of the person in CRM. So I can click here. As you can see here below, it is trying to authenticate and connect to CRM organization from this message. So it will load. Meanwhile, we can check that the person is there. Let's check if this is. So initially it takes some time to load. So we will just wait for it. Yeah. Okay. So as you can see, this contact was present. So you can see the information for this contact right within Outlook web app. And we can see other information like the next activity or some last activity if there is, or cases associated to this contact, also the opportunities associated to this contact. So all these features, all these details about the contact can be seen from Outlook web app itself without even going to CRM. What you can also do is track or untrack. So if you want to track this, so this feature was already available in CRM for Outlook desktop application. Now you can use it here also. You can track this email. So when you try to click on track, it asks the activity for which person this has to be tracked. So I will try to find Someshwar here. So I'll select this contact and this email will be tracked against this contact. So this is one great feature. So without even navigating to CRM, you can see all the details for this contact from your email. So it decides upon the email ID from of the sender. It finds the contacts or the leads if it is present within CRM. So one thing, everyone will have query. What if the person is not present in CRM? Suppose there is one more person who has sent me an email, somesh2207@live.com. So this person, I'll check in my contacts, is not present in my CRM. So what will happen if we click Dynamics CRM for this particular sender? So again, you'll try to contact CRM and find the record if it is present. So it was not present. You can see Someshwar Siripuram wasn't found in CRM. So it allows me to create a contact from within this application or this app. So I will create a new contact and let's fill some details and yes, save. So you can create and save the contact right from your Outlook web app. Now you can see that the record has been saved. We'll just confirm this by refreshing the contact grid. Let's check if it exists. Yes, so it does exist. So the record is created in CRM. Also, you can again track or untrack this record. So just see. Let's find this person. Yes. So this email will be tracked against this record. So one more question that users will have is uh, how does this searching work? So this searching will work on the global search. So whatever entities are enabled in our global search, we can search on those records with the columns that we search in CRM as well. So this is how the searching happens. And so since I have tracked that email, it should track the email to this contact. It usually takes some time before it tracks. So let's see if it does get tracked in here. Let's see in the activities. So I don't think we see any activity. So it takes times for that email to track. Once it is done, you'll see the email activity from here since we're tracking that email against this contact. So this is CRM app for OWA. So one of the new features in this release, we as discussed, the administrator has to enable this across organization. Also, this needs Office 360. Only Office 365 users can use this feature. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so let's move on to the SDK enhancements in this new CRM release. So with the new CRM release, Microsoft Dynamics CRM has allowed easy integration with external applications. So with some of the SDK enhancements like the alternate keys, change tracking, update message for specialized operation, and Upsert Request, which is new one, it has now become more easy to integrate and synchronize CRM data with some data stored in external systems. And it also helps us to streamline development and coding practices with this new SDK enhancement. So let's look at each one of them in the further slides. So let's start with alternate keys for entities. So with alternate keys, you can assure an efficient and accurate way of integrating data into Microsoft Dynamics CRM from external application. It is especially important in cases when an external system doesn't store the CRM record GUID that uniquely identify records. So we know that as of today, only the CRM record GUID is the unique identifier of any CRM record. But this is not like business oriented way of storing uniqueness, because for my business, maybe the account number and account name combination is a unique, and that is how I define my uniqueness for account entity. But CRM as of now, or up till CRM 2015, did not allow this feature to specify our own uniqueness. So with alternate keys, we can specify our own uniqueness by combining two or more fields and specifying that this combination should be unique. So we can use more than one entity fields to define an alternate key, and also alternate key can be accessed programmatically. So one thing to consider here is when you create an alternate key, we'll see the demo shortly, but when you create an alternate key, you must assign a unique name for each alternate key. And since you can also access it programmatically, it has become a lot easier from programs to identify records without using GUIDs, which was the only way of doing it up till now. So what are the benefits of alternate keys? So benefit is it enables faster lookup of records. So this is from development perspective. So if you want to look up any record in like C# code from plugins or from any other outside application, we have to use the GUID to identify a record and set as the lookup for any existing record. But with the alternate keys, we can now use alternate the key combination to look up for a record. It also allows us for more robust bulk data operation, especially in CRM Online. And with this new alternate key feature, programming has been simplified for data imported from external systems without CRM record IDs. So let's see how we use alternate keys. Let's go to our CRM and settings, and let's go to customizations. So when you open the customizations today, okay, yeah. So suppose for account I want to create an alternate key so that I can specify that two accounts cannot have the same account name and number combination. So for that, as you can see, there is a new navigation here for keys, which is for alternate keys. Let's navigate to keys. So we now have name and number, so which I've already created. Let's check this. So as you can see, I use the account name and number combination. So you can have multiple such combinations. You can only use simple fields like text and number. You cannot use lookup fields to define an alternate key. So like this, you can create multiple such alternate keys for an entity. So now, based on this, what I have specified here is the account name and number will be unique for all accounts. So what it does mean is you cannot create two accounts with same name and number combination. So let's try and validate if this is true. So I go ahead and create a new account. Let's say ACC demo, and I'll say the account number is 123 and save this record. So I create a new record. Now I'll try to create another account with the same account name and number and try to save this record. As you can see, it does not allow me to create this record. So if you can read this message, it says that record that has the attribute values account number, account name already exists. The entity key, name and number requires that the set of attributes contain unique values. Select unique values and try again. So this is not duplicate detection, but this is the alternate key definition which we just did for account entity. So by using this information or using such alternate key combination, we can now define uniqueness of a record based on the business needs and not depend only upon the GUIDs to do so. So this is how alternate keys. So let's change the account number and see if this saves. Okay, so this one saved. So this combination is not yet present. So this is how alternate keys can be used. Uh, okay, so that's about alternate keys. So let's move ahead. So this is another enhancement which we have in SDK, that is update message for specialized operation. This is more towards technical side of Dynamics CRM online upgrade, but I think this may be important for clients as well. So the update request as of now, I mean, So we have few set of requests for an entity like create a record, update a record, delete a record, assign record, and set state, so which changes the state of a record. So if you change the state of a record from active to deactive, or and you also want to update some fields during this same time frame, or you want to change the owner during the same time frame. So what you want to achieve is you want to change the value of field one, and then you also want to change the owner and also want to change the state of the record. So previously with CRM, what we have to do is we have to do three different requests. One is for updating the record for the field, one is for assigning the record or changing the owner, and third is for setting the state of request, because these were considered as three different requests for CRM. With this new release, the update message uh, now comprises of all these requests into single request, that is the update request. So you can use the assignment or changing the state or changing the parent in a single update message. So which now improves the performance because the number of CRM calls to do a particular operations are now reduced. So this is about update message. Let's move to change tracking. So change tracking is a new feature in Microdynamics CRM. It provides a way to keep the data synchronized in a performant way by detecting what data has changed since the data was initially extracted or last synchronized. Previously, without this new feature, it was difficult to build a reliable and efficient mechanism to determine what record has changed in CRM. So this is especially important when we are synchronizing CRM data with some external system. So let's consider a scenario. So suppose I am maintaining my account records in CRM, and I also want to synchronize this data with some other external or third party system, or suppose a SQL server or other sales system which I have. So I want to make sure that data between these two systems is synchronized, which means if if a record is changed in CRM, it should reflect in the other system as well. If the record is deleted, it should be deleted from the other system as well. So as of now, if you want to do this, we had to do a lot of customization. We have to configure jobs. Then we have to check based on modified date or deleted date, what was deleted and when it was deleted, and what was changed and when it was changed. So which was quite a tedious process, and also it was not 100% efficient and reliable. So what we can do now is whenever you retrieve records from CRM with this change tracking, you can now provide a data version, which is like a token. So which you can, if you specify the data version, it will get me all the data from that, which was changed or deleted from that version, which means suppose for the first time, if I am making this request, I will get all the data from CRM if there is no data version. So now I get the data. So whenever you get the data from CRM, it will also send you one token, which will be used as a version. So you can use this token, or you can keep this token in your external system, saying that this was a version when I last synchronized my data with CRM. So suppose on every alternate day I am updating or synchronizing data from CRM. So when I come back and now I again want to synchronize, I will use the token which I saved from last time. And when I pass this token back to CRM, it will provide me all the data which has been created, updated, and deleted from the last time the token was changed, which means uh, if so CRM provides all this data in three different collections. One is the created collection, one is the updated collection, and one is the deleted collections. So based on this data, you can now synchronize your data from the external system. So this helps in a very reliable way to update or synchronize data with other systems. Also, to make this or to enable change tracking, we need to enable it at entity level. Uh, when you don't provide any token, or when you access it for the first time using this new request, so we have a new request from code which you have to use. So when you access it for first time, you will not provide any version, and CRM will provide you token. So if the data version is not provided, all data is retrieved. If the data version is provided, all data, the data which was changed, created or deleted will be retrieved in separate collections, which you can then use to synchronize with your external system. So that was about change tracking. So now let's move on to the upsert request. So the upsert request is a new request in CRM. It is best to use when we are not sure if the record exists in CRM or not. So previously, if I want to update, if I want to update some record, then I have to first check if the record exists in CRM. So I have to make a read call to CRM and check if the record exists, and then if the record exists, I will create or update the request in the second call. So for doing one operation, I have to make two CRM calls, which was transaction heavy. But with the upsert request, you don't have to make do this. You can do it in a single record. So now, so since both the actions are merged in a single request, performance is improved. So once upsert request is executed, we can check if the record was created or not in the response. However, if you want to, if you are sure that a record doesn't exist in CRM, then you should always use the existing create request for better performance. Okay, so these were the main requests for data integration in CRM. Now let's focus on some other enhancements which are now available in CRM. So one of these other enhancements is optimistic concurrency. So this is again related more towards development. So now multi-threaded and multi-user system like Microsoft Dynamics CRM, operations and data changes often happen in parallel. A problem arises when two or more update or delete operations on the same piece of data happen at the same time. This situation could potentially result in data loss. So in this SDK release, we have the ability for our application to detect whether an entity record has changed on the server in the time between when your application retrieved the record and when it tries to update the record. So it may be possible that when I read a particular record and when I'm trying to update that record, during this time duration, someone else may have updated the record and I don't want to update the record which was updated by someone else. So with this optimistic concurrency, what it does is it also gives us the row version property. So using the row version, we now know that which version of the record we have. So when we update the record, we can pass the row version again. And then if the record row version doesn't match with what it has on the server, then the operation fails. So it is up to us. If you want the operation to fail, we can make it fail by selecting that the operation should fail if the row version does not match. Or if you don't care about if the row version has changed or not, then we can ignore this and it will let the operation happen. So this is optimistic concurrency. So one of the other enhancement that we have is execute transaction, which is all or none. This is like a transaction or a batch job which we have in SQL. So it's a common requirement in business application to coordinate changes of multiple records in a system so that either all the data changes succeeded or none of them do. So in database term, this is known as executing multiple operations in a single transaction with the ability to roll back all data changes should any one of the operation fail. This was not possible in CRM up till now. You cannot have all or none in a single request. So there may be a case that if I updated an account record, I want to update a contact record and I want to create activity. But if I'm not able to update an account record, I don't want to update the contact and I don't want to create the activity. So as of now, with CRM 2015, without update one, we have to do this manually. We have to check if the account was created properly or not, and then we have to check if the contact was created properly or not, and then only we can create the activities. But with this execute transaction, we can batch this in a single transaction, multiple. We can have all the multiple requests in a single transaction, and then if any one of them fails, no one the entire operation will fail and it will throw an exception saying that the transaction did not succeed. So this is execute transactions. So moving on to some one of the new features which will also be helpful for end users and customers to extend the Dynamics CRM. So which is custom actions. So custom actions were part of Dynamics CRM from CRM 2013. But with this new update 1, we can also use custom actions in our workflows and other processes. So we'll go through what it is, and I'll also show you guys the demo on how it works. So what it does is, what are custom actions? The custom action allow us to define custom messages for entities. So what do you mean by messages? So messages are create request, update request, or delete request. These are all messages for an entity. But what if you want to specify your own message for one entity? Suppose I have a project entity and I want to have a new message called approve, project approval message. So I can define my own message and do some step of actions on this message. So custom actions allow us that it can be associated with a single entity or it can be global where you don't specify any entity. So with CRM 2015 update 1, it can also be used with workflows and it can be invoked from plugins or JavaScript. So I'll just show you the demo, what custom actions is. Uh, yeah, let's go to our customizations. Okay. So custom actions can be created from the processes where we create workflows and dialogues. Okay, so you can see these are all the processes. I already created one custom action. So this is how you can create a custom action. Let's see one of the action that I created, which is a project approval action. So aesthetically or from UI perspective, it looks more like workflow, combination of workflow and dialogue. So you can see we can provide input parameter and output parameter with custom actions, which we can then use in workflows. So what this custom action does is so this runs on the project entity. So what this custom action does is it updates the project status to approved and it assigns the project to the project team, which is a team which I created in CRM. So let's see how I am using this. So the action is now in place, but it will not be executed unless it is used in some workflow or plugin or invoked from some customization. So I have one workflow here which runs on the project entity on change of the project status. So whenever the project status is request for approval, this workflow runs. So now I have the options to run a action from workflow. So I'll just deactivate this record and show you what it does. So you can see in steps now I have the ability to perform action. So this is new in CRM update 1. So here I can select which action. So I selected this. So I already did this. Then you have to set properties for this action. So this is the action that I just showed you a while ago. You can see so you have to set the target for this action. The target will be the current record, which is the project record. So I'll show you the demo what happens. So the action just changes the status to approved and also changes the owner to the project team. So as you can see, the workflow in itself does not do any particular action, but only the action perform this action, and this can be invoked from the workflow. So now I have activated this workflow. The workflow will run on change of project status. So let's go to project. So now let's open this project, Salesforce integration. So my workflow will run on change of the project status. So let me add some ID, some revenue. So my workflow will run when the project status is request for approval. So when I click request approval and save this, my workflow will run synchronously. So now you can see that the project status is approved and the project owner is project team, which happens from action. So you can So the user will now have a query that this is possible even with workflows or plugins or any other action. So how is it helpful? It is helpful because you can define this based on your business. So approval is one such action that it is common across my business. So I will create one action, and then whenever you want to perform this action, you can call that action from a workflow, or from a plugin or from JavaScript wherever you require it. So you can invoke the action and then it will automatically perform the action on the record. So this is how custom actions work. Okay, let's move on to our next slide, which is CRM app for phones and tablets. So this is one of the upgrade that all users have been waiting for. All users want to see want to see an upgrade for the existing CRM app, which actually is not so useful as of now. So Microsoft Dynamics CRM will have a brand new app which has improved UI for phones. Even the tablet app is now upgraded, which is already available. So with this new CRM for phones and tablets, it also supports offline capability that you can save your records in drafts, and when you have or when you're not connected to internet, and when once the internet is available, you can again save it. The record is saved back to CRM. Also, one of the major features is that there is no separate form for phones and tablets, which was there earlier. So the same form which are used for browser will be used for phones as well and also for tablets. So there's a single form. So developers or customizers don't need to customize multiple form from single form. Uh, After customizing single form, it will be available across browser, tablets, and phones. But for phones, everything will be similar to what is available in browser. But what is new is that you can also the UI is different. So based on the size of the device, the Microsoft has customized the UI. So for a better phone experience, the UI is different for phones and tablets. So the new app will also support quick creates, and it will also have support for dashboards. So let's concentrate on CRM for phone. So CRM for phone will have a new app which will be named as CRM for phone, which is actually not available up till now. So unfortunately, we'll not be able to demo this. So what we can discuss is it has redesigned UI. So it has more functionality. It has better UI. Uh, the existing phone app will also continue to exist even after the new app is released. So, but it will now be renamed as CRM for Phone Express. So the CRM Online or CRM entity forms all will still have the option to create mobile form, but it will only be accessible for this Express app. So the main form will be shown on the CRM for phone app, and the mobile form will be shown on CRM for phone Express app. So also the new CRM for phone app will also only work with CRM 2015 update 1. It will not work with previous versions of CRM. So even if the user has CRM for Phone Express and user tries to log in to a CRM organization which is upgraded to CRM 2015 update 1, it will ask user that there is a new modern app available, and it will ask user to download that app for a better experience. So currently we don't have any demo, but these are the new features which are available in CI. That is, the CRM for phone is more aligned with the tablet UI, so it looks more on what it looks on tablet today. So there is a single main form to render record, so there is no separate customization which needs to be done for mobile and tablet separately. With phone, we now have the option to pin some records on the start screen for easy access and navigation. So you can pin it so that you can easily access some records which are important to you. And also with this new app, business rules and JavaScript is now supported, which was not possible earlier. Earlier, you may be aware that it only had the option to add fields on the form and nothing else. So now business rules and JavaScript are also supported. Business process flows are also supported. It also has offline mode, as we already discussed. Quick create forms are supported, and it opens phone's default map app and click of map. So if the account has a map, if when you click on the app, it will open the map default map app for the phone if it's a Google Map or Apple Maps. I don't have the demo, but I have some screenshots on how it will look. This is still not available. So this is how the phone app will look. As you can see, there is a business process flows available on phone. The UI is much better. This blue box and the red box are sub records, and this is how subgrid will be shown. So you can see the UI is much better. This is a business process flow. This is how it will open in the business process flow. And as I already told you, there will be dashboards available on phones as well. So dashboards are now supported on phones. So it will help sales people, especially since they are traveling most of the time. So the new CRM for phone app is exciting, although it is not yet out there. So as soon as it is out, we will again send a note to all our customers that it is out and what all things need to be done for this new app. So that is it for this webinar, and this just to mention few of the key points from the webinar. The key takeaways from this session are the new form rendering engine, which has improved the performance of entity forms. Also, with CRM for OWA, users can now track and preview data of CRM from within OWA without even navigating to CRM. The new SDK enhancements have made a lot of performance improvement in Dynamics CRM, and it also helps in making. It also has helped in easily integrating CRM data with external platforms with the new enhancements. So also, and the last one is the CRM for phones and tablets. The new app, the new redesigned app has much more functionality than what it already has, and much easier to use with far better UI. So that's it, and we can now see if anyone has questions. Let me check. So one of our attendees has a question. Let me read that out loud. So this would allow Mac users to now track emails using their OWA, as today their CRM Outlook client does not work for Macs, correct? Uh, So it does allow Mac users as well. So as I told you, this is dependent on browser and has nothing to do with operating system or anything else. So if the browser has OWA and the app which we install, the Dynamics CRM app, that is available from Office 365 store for Outlook web app. So it is supported by Mac or any other OS, or since it is browser based and not dependent on OS. So this is one of very good question, and this is one of the important feature as well for CRM for OWA, that it does not now depend on operating system or desktop or some separate software. So we have one more question here. Let me read out loud. With the new phone app will support the creation, for example, opportunity products will allow header and detail sections to be entered on the forms. So yes, it will. As we already discussed, that it will allow quick create forms to be used, but you cannot. The phone app will not support any iframes or web resource. The tablet still has the feature to support iframes and web resources, but the phone app will not have web resources. But it can still use a quick create form, which is provided by default. It allows you to create the for example, if you create an opportunity and now you want to add some opportunity products to that header opportunity, you can add it from there itself without navigating to home and then going to opportunity products. So you can create it from the opportunity itself using the quick create forms, and you can easily do that from phones as well. Um, any other questions? These are all the questions that I have received from the questions window. Okay, I don't think there are any questions as of now. Hopefully, you all like our webinar sessions, and you'll also like the new CRM Spring Update features. Uh, if you have any questions or if you want to contact us, you can visit us at www.cloudfront.com, or you can email us uh, in the mentioned email IDs here. Thank you everyone for attending the session. We will be sending you the webinar links by tomorrow, and We'll we'll send the webinar link for both our session. That it will also include the link for session which was done last week, and for today we'll also send you YouTube videos and the PowerPoint slide deck. Thank you everyone for attending the session. Bye.